After an off-season supposedly dedicated to a bold new future, a fresh start, and a clear path out of the doldrums, doesn't it just feel like a familiar, almost weary sigh is about to escape the lips of every Chicago Bulls fan? Are we truly witnessing the dawn of a new era? Or are the Bulls on the verge of making an $80 million decision that feels less like a decisive leap forward and more like a reluctant, almost anticlimactic shrug of resignation? For years, the Windy City faithful have yearned for a clear direction, a bold statement of intent, something to ignite genuine hope. Yet as September rolls in and the shadow of restricted free agency still looms over Josh Giddey, the Bulls find themselves at a crossroads, poised to make a move that perfectly encapsulates their decade-long struggle with identity, ambition, and the elusive quest for true relevance. This isn't just about one player's contract. It's a microcosm of a franchise caught between the desire for change and the gravitational pull of its own frustrating history. The Chicago Bulls entered this offseason with what appeared to be a renewed sense of purpose, a commitment to finally turn the page on years of frustrating mediocrity. The extension of head coach Billy Donovan, a move designed to provide stability and continuity, signaled a belief in his ability to steer the ship. The addition of Noah Essing in the draft, a raw but intriguing talent, further underscored their pivot towards developing young talent and building for tomorrow. The narrative was clear. The Bulls were shedding the shackles of their past, embracing a new era focused on growth potential and a patient climb out of the quagmire they'd been stuck in for nearly a decade. Yet, as the summer months have dwindled, a lingering piece of unfinished business has served as a stark, almost painful reminder of the Bulls' persistent struggles. The restricted free agency of Josh Giddey, a situation that has dragged on with an almost agonizing lack of resolution, has become a symbol of the team's inability to fully commit to a clear, decisive path, leaving fans and analysts alike wondering if this new era is destined to be just another chapter in the same old story. The silence surrounding Josh Giddey's restricted free agency has been deafening throughout the offseason. In a league where even the slightest whisper of a potential move can send the rumor mill into overdrive, there has been a conspicuous absence of serious discussions about Giddey making his way to a new team. This isn't for lack of talent, but rather a complex interplay of factors that have effectively frozen the market for the young Australian guard. Giddey's initial reported asking price, a hefty figure rumored to be around $30 million per year, likely scared off many potential suitors, especially for a player whose fit on a championship contender remains at best questionable. Furthermore, the Bulls, having already made the controversial decision to swap Alex Caruso for Giddey, are now in a position where losing him for nothing would be an unmitigated disaster, a move that would undoubtedly age even more poorly than the initial trade itself. The Caruso deal, once seen as a bold gamble, has already drawn significant criticism in Chicago, and the prospect of losing Giddey after giving up a fan favorite and defensive stalwart like Caruso is simply unthinkable for the front office. Given this intricate web of circumstances, the prevailing sentiment around the league is that Josh Giddey will, indeed, be back in the Windy City for the 2025-26 season. The question then shifts from if he will return to for how much will he return? This is where the Bulls' long-awaited decision comes into play, and it's a decision that, according to recent insights, might be more pragmatic than glamorous. Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report, respected voice in NBA financial analysis, recently predicted that Giddey's best option would simply be to accept the 4-year, $80 million offer that has reportedly been on the table throughout the summer. This deal, which would pay Giddey an average of $20 million per year, becomes even more appealing if Chicago sweetens the pot with a player option on the final year of the contract. Such an option would provide Giddey with valuable flexibility down the line, allowing him to re-evaluate his situation and potentially re-enter free agency at a more opportune moment should his performance warrant a larger deal or a change of scenery. From Giddey's perspective, this $80 million offer, while perhaps not reaching his initial lofty demands, represents a significant commitment and a substantial payday. In a market that has shown little appetite for a restricted free agent with his specific profile, taking a guaranteed 4-year deal, especially with a player option, becomes a logical and financially sound move. It provides security, allows him to continue developing in a system where he's expected to play a prominent role, and offers an escape hatch if the situation in Chicago doesn't evolve as hoped. For a player who, despite his undeniable talent, remains polarizing in terms of his overall impact, this is a deal that secures his financial future while still leaving room for growth and reevaluation. It's a compromise, certainly, but one that makes sense in the current NBA landscape, particularly for a player whose strengths and weaknesses are so clearly defined. Josh Giddey is, without a doubt, a fascinating and often frustrating player. His counting stats, the points, rebounds, and assists that jump off the box score, are undeniably impressive for a young guard. He possesses exceptional court vision, a natural feel for passing, and a creative flair that can unlock an offense. He's a triple-double threat on any given night, capable of filling up the stat sheet in multiple categories. However, the true measure of a player's value in the modern NBA extends far beyond raw numbers. Giddey is, by many accounts, a polarizing figure precisely because his impact on winning, particularly at the highest levels of competition, remains questionable. His defensive shortcomings are well documented. And in an era increasingly dominated by two-way players, his inability to consistently guard opposing perimeter players is a significant concern. His shooting, while showing flashes of improvement, remains inconsistent, allowing defenses to sag off him and clog passing lanes. Yet for the Chicago Bulls, a team that is decidedly not a contender, acquiring Giddey for $20 million a year isn't necessarily all that bad, as the initial assessment suggests. The Bulls are in a developmental phase, attempting to cultivate young talent and establish a new identity. In this context, Giddey's playmaking, his ability to create for others, and his sheer volume of production can be valuable assets. He can be a central figure in an offense that is still finding its rhythm, a player who can shoulder a significant portion of the creative burden. The Bulls aren't currently aiming for a championship where every defensive misstep is magnified and every offensive inefficiency is punished. Instead, they are looking for players who can grow, who can contribute to a more exciting brand of basketball, and who can perhaps develop into something more complete down the line. For a team in their position, taking a chance on Giddey's offensive upside at this price point, especially with the potential for a player option, might be a calculated risk worth taking, a necessary step in their long, arduous journey back to relevance. So, as the Bulls prepare to finalize this long-awaited decision, it feels less like a triumphant declaration and more like a pragmatic acceptance of their current reality. The $80 million commitment to Josh Giddey isn't the splashy franchise-altering move that fans might have dreamed of, but it is a significant investment in a player who, despite his flaws, offers a unique blend of skills that could be valuable for a team in transition. It's a move that underscores the delicate balance between financial prudence, player development, and the ever-present pressure to escape the gravitational pull of mediocrity. The Bulls are not building a championship contender overnight. They are slowly, painstakingly trying to lay the groundwork for a more competitive future. And in that context, bringing Giddey back on a reasonable deal, even with his polarizing skill set, might just be the most sensible, if not the most exciting, path forward. It's a decision born of necessity and opportunity, a reflection of where the Bulls stand today, and a quiet hope for what they might become tomorrow. What do you make of this predicted $80 million decision for Josh Giddey Fabiano? Do you think it's a smart, pragmatic move for the Bulls given their current situation, or another step on the path to perpetual mediocrity? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And if you're as invested in the Bulls' future as we are, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for all the latest news, analysis, and unfiltered takes on your favorite team.